everybody. Welcome to the Magical Living Open House. I'm Patricia Tallman. I'm your host. And today, my very special guest is Lori Osborne. Thank you so much for being here, Lori. Lori is affectionately known as the Authority Amplifier. She's the founder of Biz Bolster Web Solutions and the creator of the Authority Blueprint. With nearly a decade of experience in brand strategy and website development, Lori helps thought leaders like yourself identify and clarify their brand, then translate it into authority-driven websites that actually attract aligned clients and amplify their impact online. So that, Lori, welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just that right there is something that is like marketing gold. Understanding that your website needs to speak directly to the clients you're trying to attract, and it's not just
Mhm.
about pretty pictures of you or your personal philosophy, but you're talking to the client, right? So that
What a
means you have to.
concept, right?
Yeah, it means you're answering you are the solution to their problem, so they need to know you understand what their problem is to start with, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I love the statement. If you're trying to sell to everyone, you sell to no one.
Yeah, for sure.
And I
Mm,
know people fight that idea of niching down so much.
yeah,
I fought it myself for years.
right.
But when you do, and you actually do know how to speak to your ideal client, it makes such a huge
It
difference
does.
because of what you just said, because they know that you know their problems
Yeah,
and how to fix them because you're speaking in a way that's their language.
that's right. Wow. Well, I really appreciate you saying that. And one of the things that I think gets confusing for entrepreneurs or people who might have their own creative product, could be a book, it could be some art, whatever it is, that they don't know how to um, then brand the face behind the product. And nowadays, with AI being so prevalent, I really think this is important that people know there's an actual person behind the website, behind the product, course,
Yes.
whatever the service is or the artifact is. Just so can you speak to that a little bit? I'm going to throw you right in
Absolutely.
there.
No. I mean, absolutely. Because so, you kind of mentioned before we started just the concept of branding. So let's just start there.
Mm,
Like what is branding? Because that's such a word that people don't always get.
right.
So I'm going to start with branding is what you are when you're not in the room with someone.
Ah,
It's how you are perceived. So that can be, let's say you're acting in high values or in alignment with high values, that can be your brand, or you can be the opposite. So to me, so when I meet with people about branding, the first thing we do is we determine the values. What are your values? And then we're going to build your brand around that to
oh.
show those values. So, a lot of people, and for years, I really thought of
Mm.
branding as colors and fonts because I build websites. Like I have to think about colors and fonts. And that is very important, but the colors and fonts are still not as important as the message and who you are and establishing who you are, understanding who you are so that that comes through. And then the
Huge.
second part of that is that understanding of the ideal client. And then you're speaking to that ideal client. That's really what branding is. It's who you
Hmm.
are when you're not in the room with someone. So whether that's your website, online, or your friends talking about you behind your back. I mean, that's your brand, whatever you have put out to the world. Like for
Right.
me, resilience and integrity are probably my top values. Like it is an imperative to me that people know me, that I'm very authentic, I'm very real, I'm not going to fill you with a bunch of crap. I'm going to be honest and straightforward, and that's where my integrity is as well. And I hope that that's what comes through in everything that I do. So that to me that's my brand. Plus plus the colors. My glasses are part of my brand.
Right. Right.
It's
Kimberly
all
too.
about
Our
color.
friend Kimberly brought us together. Those great glasses. Um, so what was something struck me and I didn't want to lose it, and I think I just did.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it, it's all good. It doesn't matter if you're a writer or an artist or a business person with service or a product. The values behind it are still, I think, really important. I love that. I remember somebody very big, you probably know who they are. For the longest time, I didn't understand what the hell they were selling. I didn't understand what they were doing. What are you? What is this? And then suddenly the business flipped and switched and they got super clear. And I think they deployed something like what you're talking about, like what are our values? What do we stand for? And what are we trying to do for you? What are we trying to do for you, our ideal client? And it made all the difference in the world.
And they
So,
nailed down that ideal client. You,
yes,
and
okay,
maybe
fair
you were
enough.
like,
And I
I think
was.
their message became more defined.
That's it.
If you're selling, I was going to say soap, but even Dove, like
Hmm.
Dove soap still has an ideal client. Like they're targeting women of all sizes. Like they really dig into that, the women feature, but they
Hmm.
could be trying to sell to everyone. And
Hmm.
when I talk to people about this, I constantly get, and again, I was in this boat for the first 6 years of my business. I don't want to niche down because then I won't get any clients because I'll alienate people. When in
Exactly.
fact,
Hmm.
you're speaking to your ideal client and you're attracting them, and you're still going to get referrals from everybody else that are probably could or could not be your ideal client. Like
Absolutely.
most of my business is referrals. But when I'm marketing, I'm talking to my ideal client. And it has made, speaking from experience, it has made the hugest difference in making that shift. The
Interesting.
visibility changes overnight because all of a sudden you're specific and you're not speaking to the world, you're speaking to that one person. That's not one person, it's a group of
Hmm.
people, but you think of it as speaking to that one person.
I think that we forget how many billions of people there are on the planet. And the fact is, you don't need that many to
Yes.
be successful, to
Mm-hmm.
make enough and to make more than enough. You really just need to focus in on who you serve and how you want to be of service to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we think of everything that we're doing in terms of service, that's really important. Here's another tricky bit. I'm just curious as to what you might advise your clients, Lori. I hear a lot, well, I don't want to charge too much. First of all, no one will buy. And second of all, I want to be able to be affordable to everyone. What do you answer to something like that?
Well, I am a small business owner and I am a mostly a solopreneur, and I
Mm-hmm.
have lived exactly what you're saying. And when I made that shift to niche down, I went through that exact same thing. But I also realized that I have limited resources of time and ability, and I can't afford to try to serve everybody because I don't have time to make enough money if I'm not charging what I'm worth.
Mm.
So when I shifted my business, I said, well, I need fewer clients that are paying what I'm worth and recognizing what I'm worth. And then I can focus on a smaller number of clients paying me more money and feel like I'm actually being paid enough, because what good is it doing me to be paid a third of what I should be paid?
Oh no, yeah.
I'm,
Then you
you
don't
know,
feel
I'm
good about yourself. You don't feel good about
right,
anything.
right. I feel like I'm giving away what I've worked so hard to
Mm,
build.
mm.
And I found lately, especially, I've had a lot of conversations with people where I'm like, I really, really wish we could work together. And I know that I'm not the cheapest because I'm not. And I will give you referrals to people that you can afford. And I feel horrible when I do it, but I always get respect back because they recognize that they can't afford me, but they understand that I have a product that's different from my competitors, and that's why I can charge what I charge. So it's some of it's just evolving in business as well, and just
Mhm, mm.
recognizing we have to also learn our value, because a lot of times we start a business and we have no idea that
Right.
we have value. The first
Or your
website I built, I think,
self-esteem, you know.
yeah, I think I charged $700 for the first website that I built, which some people think that's what it should cost today. But, it took me a long time to realize
Mm.
that I do things differently, and there's a lot of things I do better, and I can charge more, and I
You
can
also have an
serve my clients well.
expertise. Yes,
Yes.
yes, you do. You can serve your clients really well, but that's because you've built this expertise and you have invested in that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you can, like you said, you can help somebody brand around values as well as their product, and whereas somebody who's just getting started or is struggling along, they don't have time to think about that stuff. They just need to slap up a website for you. So you're getting a whole
Yes.
different product when you invest in yourself in a different way.
Yes. And that goes back to branding as well, because to me, branding is also building your authority online. You mentioned
Yeah.
in my introduction, I have a product called the Authority Blueprint, and I
Yeah.
named it that because I want people to recognize there is money, income associated with authority. So if you can establish your authority through your marketing and why you are the best, then it's not so hard to ask for the additional money because you're the
Interesting.
best. So, if you're Tony Robbins, you're going to pay Tony Robbins costs. If no one has a clue who you are, they probably aren't going to pay as much.
Yeah,
So let's
yeah.
build your authority online. And that's where, and my authority blueprint is really just helping you identify what that is. And then that ideal client piece. And then we end up with a really cool custom GPT that you can use over and over and over again to build your
What?
content, because it knows your brand and your products and your ideal client and will tell you everything you need to do to talk to that ideal client. So that's how we build your authority online.
How
Sorry
does
with the little promo piece
No,
there,
I
but
want to I want to do that. So how does somebody, my next question, how does somebody work with you on that? How does somebody get the blueprint?
well, I'm giving your audience a free authority visibility audit. And I
Okay.
like to start there because let's just find out, like, are you showing yourself as an authority online? What can you do better? Where can you be better in that? And then you can go to my website and I have the authority blueprint where you can just outright buy it. But we can start with the audit, because then we can meet and talk and we can just go through it and go, and I give you a score. Well, let me rephrase. My GPT that I've built will give you a score that says, are you 6.5 out of 10? Are you 8 out of 10? Like, how do you score online? And then let's talk about how you can, change that.
Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. And thank you. Very generous gift. So thank you. Can I do it? Can I do it?
Absolutely, you can do it. Let's do it.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh, that would be
absolutely.
amazing.
I'm not going to say no to that.
I can't tell you all for all of you watching right now how valuable that is. Just that. So,
Thank you.
but yeah, we're very grateful. Thank you. So, what would be the kinds of things you would advise uh, somebody to pull together to look at their online authority?
Well, you're obviously going to start with your website.
Okay.
Is your website representative of you? And even little things like, I mentioned the colors and fonts.
Yeah.
A website should be consistent in that brand across everything.
Hmm.
So is your website, and I actually, on that page, by the way, with that free visibility audit, there's a checklist,
Okay.
and you can self audit on that checklist, and it has a lot of these things on it. But is your website consistent with your brand across everything? And is the rest of your social media and online presence consistent? So one thing that I mentioned, and shoot, I don't think I have it in front of me. I mentioned my glasses. Darn. I have a background that I use, that my logo is built from, that is on everything that you will see about me anywhere. It's on my social media. It's on every page of my website. I have a backpack I carry. It's on that, because if you establish that visual, that's recognizable. My glasses are a great example. I will run into someone that I met 3 years ago because I've been wearing these for about since COVID, actually 6 years. I'll run into
Oh,
someone from like 3 years ago and they'll be like, glasses, like literally don't know my name, have no idea what my name is, but they're like, I've met you before because I know your glasses. Like
wow.
that is brand. And that's why I do it
Yeah.
because I want, and I always wear pink or turquoise that go with the glasses. So you know you're going to see me, sometimes white, but usually pink or turquoise, so that someone, whether it's a networking event or a marketing cruise or a summit, that someone can recognize you. But your online presence is the same way. It needs to be consistent across everything. It needs to have the same messaging, the same colors, the same everything you do is consistency once you've figured out that brand. Like you can't do it if you haven't figured out your brand.
Right.
It's impossible to be consistent if you
Right.
haven't even started there. But then once you do that, making sure it's consistent across every single thing that is created.
Mm. I think that another piece of what I've heard a lot from my clients has to do with confidence. When you're branding and you're using images of yourself, there's confidence involved. There's the I don't know. There's a hesitancy to step forward and really being seen, um, even if
Yeah.
it's just for your business.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you would say to clients like that?
I completely understand it,
Yeah.
but it's
And
and yes, it's so necessary. I mean, um, I just started working with a guy that's actually helping me with sales, and he's like, take a look at my website, and we met again, and I said, are you a human? Because when I go out to your website, literally there is nothing about you. There are no
Mm-mm.
pictures, there are no reviews. There it looks like an AI website. It looks like it's like you are AI and your entire business is AI. And you've lost that personal
Mm.
touch. And guess what? People don't buy things, they buy from people, they buy through emotion. So if someone can't connect with you, they're not going to buy from you. At least not, I like to say this websites to me are, unless they're an e commerce site where you're selling something for less than $100, none of this really matters if you're selling something for less than $100. I mean, in the
Mm.
big scheme of things. But if you want someone to go to your website and you want them to invest 500 to 20,000 or more with you, then the purpose of your website is to start a relationship. That's it. It's not to sell. It's to establish know, like, and trust and start the relationship. Well, you can't start a relationship if they can't even see you and have any idea of who you are.
This is
So
so
we
important.
we have to start there.
And it's important because of AI, like you were saying, that, and I know, yes, AI can make images, but you can still tell that they're
And they're
fake.
not you.
And they're not you. Even if
It,
there were fake ones of you, I don't even recommend that. I think you can
yeah,
still tell,
yeah. And I
you
actually was
know?
just on a website yesterday where they AI'd a family image, and
Mm.
and I mean it was cute and nice and everything. And don't get me wrong, I'm creating AI images for websites. And because I can create on brand.
Are they you though? Pictures of you that you AI?
No, I am
Oh no,
no, I am
that's all
not
I'm
doing
talking
it.
about.
Yeah, I'm not doing it of the people. And that's what I'm saying. I would
Uh,
never do it of the person
right.
because I'm even of the philosophy, if you go out to my website and you go to my about page, you're
Mhm.
going to see my dogs, my husband, and my life
Yeah,
because I want you, because it's authenticity. I want you to know me, my person, who I am, what I care about. I love my husband and my dogs. They are
right.
my life. And I love the beach, and I'm pretty sure there's a beach picture on there. So, no, I would never AI those. That, but you've got to have something on there, and I have all my podcast interviews on my website because if someone wants to hear me speak, or videos of any kind are so important because it's a way of getting to know someone without having a conversation. And you can see that, they say 80% of communication is visual. So if you just have text and you have a picture, you're still not getting the person
Mm-mm.
and what they care about and their passion. And do you align with them? Do you feel something when you hear them speak? Like that's all part of branding. That's still all coming back to branding.
I see your books behind you. You've
Mhm.
got the Art of
Art
Connection.
of connection. Yes.
Are those different covers or are those three different books? They look
They
like
are three
three.
different books.
Wow.
Do you want to know about it?
I
I'd love to share with you
do.
about it. The Art of Connection is an amazing community that has been built. We're on book 6, and it's 365 days of blank. This year is a resilience, my favorite word, resilience.
Mm.
Last year was abundance. The year before was gratitude. And it's 365 days of a unique original quote with a write up and a challenging question at the end, all written by entrepreneurs, influencers, thought leaders. Um, some are just authors. And it's really heart-centered people sharing from the heart. And I'm not part of the leadership community, but I did build an author directory that we are using now, because there are 1,500 authors over 6 years of books, over
Wow.
500 new authors, and a community that actually meets on a weekly basis 9 months a year. So it's more than just being part of a book; it's being literally part of a community.
So, Lori, should we share that link
I think
too?
we need to share
All
the link for
right.
that as well.
So we always have show notes, and we're going to share all of Lori's links, and we'll share that link as well. So,
Yes, because I would
wow.
absolutely love for people to get involved. It's a lot of times, if anyone's been involved in compilation books, it can cost $1,200 to $10,000 to be part of a compilation book. This is honestly like $300. I
Oh,
mean, it's
wow.
crazy. It is not intended to break the bank. It's intended to build something that it's in the Library of Congress. It's last year they did, or March of this year they were on the New York Jumbotron. I mean, it's just a really cool thing. I
It
I
is.
love being part of it, which is why I display the books, because I love being part of it.
Yeah, well, I'm fascinated. That's fantastic. What else, Lori, would you like our guests today to know, our watchers to know? Do you have something else you want to share or that they want to just
How
leave
long
them
do you
with?
want me to share for?
Well,
That might.
I have a break after this, so we can share for a little while if you want to go ahead. And
I love it. I do too, as a matter of fact,
I
now that I
think
think
it's
about it.
the group break. Yeah.
I love it. Um, I kind of want to go back to this GPT a little bit, just
Okay.
because I really want people to really understand what AI can do for you in business, because I think a lot of people have just scratched the surface, or maybe not even scratched the surface yet. And the reason I built it is that key piece of what we started this conversation talking about. AI is so brilliant at being able to take what we tell it and expanding on it in beyond specificity. And when we have this custom GPT that really knows, like, I spend an hour and a half with you to build it, and we go through, we start with your values, we start with what you do, what makes you unique, what makes you stand out, where is your authority. And what I love about that is what we were saying before, that sometimes people just don't have the confidence.
Hmm.
And in having that conversation, like, I'm not judging you, I'm not even questioning you, I'm just asking you questions and making you think about, well, what what do I do that's different? What does make me stand out? And it's important that we know that, because you can't sell yourself and sell your business if you can't put into words how you are different and better at what you
Hmm.
do. And it's uncomfortable to do that in a lot of ways. I hate sales
Uh,
with a passion, but I also recognize that I have to be able to demonstrate how I'm different if I'm going to do what we were saying earlier, that I'm going to narrow down and
mhm.
work with few clients making more money. They've got to understand what do I do different? How do I stand out? So we take all of that and then we break that down and we get into that ideal client. And what I love about it is, and I can't take full credit for this. Anyone that knows Molly Mahoney, she's a prepared performer. She's amazing with AI. She built the backbone to this, so I'll give her credit for that.
Wow.
When I did it the first time, I went, "Holy cow! How
Mm.
do you?" But anyway, we get down to what makes your ideal client happy, what makes them laugh, what makes them angry, what was their life like before working with you, and what can their life be like after working with you. Like, these are detailed things that even if you never work with me and you never use my GPT, that you have to know
Mhm.
in order to speak their language. Because like, I used to support DIYers, like that was my big thing. Well, speaking to DIYers and speaking to established thought leaders who never want to touch their website, that's a completely different conversation.
Mhm.
Different words, different education level, different income level. Like, all of that matters in how we speak. So if you've got AI that can take all of that and then go, and I go, okay, I want to write a newsletter today, and this is what I want to write it about. And boom, there it is, spoken in my words. Because I also build in what I've written. Like, it has everything I've ever written, and it knows my language, knows how I speak, knows my authenticity, knows my values of integrity and quality and communication, all those things. Um, so I just think we can take branding to a whole new level using AI, which I love. I'm I'm so grateful that we have AI.
Well, it helps us too, because as solopreneurs, we can get really exhausted and we need help. So, and to
Yes.
have it be able to speak in your voice, in your tone.
I
Yeah.
didn't even include that. Tone of voice is another thing that we cover
Hmm.
in that. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, because that's important too. Because some people are comforting and caring and very passive and indirect, and other people are very direct and maybe, even to the point of uh, offensive isn't the right word, but my words aren't coming to me. Um, but that is important as well, because it needs consistency. Again, it's that wording. And so many people I've dealt with have said, well, I've trained my AI already. And that's great. And some people have. But if you haven't gotten down to those details and the specifics, it's not trained enough yet.
Mm. Hmm. And that, yeah, I think we can always improve upon it, you know. So, yeah. If you haven't done advanced ideal client avatars work, it really can be grueling. Something that I've struggled with for years because I think I get it, and then I feel like it needs to shift, or we just had another big shift in our avatar. Um, because you learn, you start to
Yeah.
really learn more about them, and then you change up, like, well, I need people who have at least some money that they can spend and we're willing to spend on personal development. So because it
Yes.
doesn't do me any good if I'm talking to wealthy people but they have no interest in personal development at
Yes.
all. So
Yes.
you have to get specific, or I want to help everybody. Well, some people don't have any expendable income, and that
Yes.
doesn't mean I can't have products that would work for them. I don't have freebies and I don't do free things all the time, but I still need something that is going to support the business. And that's, I think, really important for entrepreneurs to get their head around. You can help other people later, and maybe that's part of what AI can help you with.
Yes.
Have your presence available for your your more elite clients, and then you can use what you've programmed for your AI to help share for free
Right,
for
right.
people who
Or
need it.
have online courses or um, video guidance. There are
Yeah.
lots of things, and I want to grab what you just said about freebies too, because um, I think people miss the value in those freebies as well, because that's your lead generation right
Hmm.
there. So
Hmm.
if someone's hitting your website and you're not giving them anything whatsoever, even even as simple as having blogs on your website,
Right.
because blogs is it's incredibly helpful in so many ways. It's sharing your knowledge, so building
For
that know, like,
free,
and trust, right? And
you
you're
know.
giving something to someone, and if you're doing it regularly, they're going to want to come back and
Hmm.
continue to engage, kind of like a podcast. It's
Hmm.
it's a written version of a podcast. we'll,
That's
we'll call
right.
it that.
Mm.
um but if you have a freebie on your homepage that actually is of value to someone and gives them a reason to download it, then that's going to start building that relationship. If you're following up with a funnel and you're talking to them over email and you're sharing, continuing to, and I think what people miss in that is the giving piece, because we're afraid to give away what we know. We think if we
Oh,
give away what we know, then why would anyone pay us? Well, guess what? If they want it for free, they probably weren't going to pay you anyway.
right.
And those that can pay you and are going to pay you don't want to do it themselves. So it's a no-brainer. Give it away. And the people that get it for free, great. And the people that, I mean, I don't know how many times that I have clients that have downloaded my freebie and they probably don't even look at it. They just want to know that it's there, but they don't want to actually do the work.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder about that too. Uh, Also, you can, well, maybe we're getting more into marketing. We don't need to get into this, but you can have different kinds of downloadables like that qualify your people in different ways. So you can be really specific about a product or a class that you're teaching or the type of book you just wrote. And you can also have something that's more just get to know me. Here's a freebie to get
Right.
to know me, whatever that is. So
Well,
that
and
you
like
can
this
qualify your
this
list.
visibility audit, I don't have that on my homepage. I
Right.
reserve that for VIPs. I reserve that for when I'm speaking and I'm speaking about something very specific, because it also takes time. Like a lot of freebies, it's just a download. This is something I actually get on the phone with you and walk it through you. That's 30 minutes of my time.
That
So
is,
I'm
yeah,
not going to just give that away to
right.
to the world. I have a different freebie on my website, 5 keys to how to pick a web developer, I believe is 5 key traits of a good web developer, something like that. That even a DIYer can use, sort of.
That's
But
very helpful, right?
yeah, but yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
careful about giving away your time with those freebies
Right.
for sure.
For sure. I don't think any of my freebies have been given away time. But I have done free webinars that lead to something else. I want you to get to know me. I want to teach you something for free. And then if you want to go deeper, please join me here, that kind of a thing. But
Yes,
you can
yes.
also, I'm speaking to entrepreneurs now, people who have want, like you were just saying, you could share everything you know, and people will still buy from you. Why? Because they want you to help them specifically. They want your eyeballs. They want it. You're giving them the do-it-yourself version, right? So you teach, you give. Here's do it yourself. Now go fix yourself, but or go fix your website. But most people go, okay, now I understand it, but I need help. Now I need help. I need you to look at my website.
Right.
Now they're in another level. And then the last level is you do it for them. And that's like, oh, that's way up here.
Yeah, yeah. Don't even, I don't want to touch it. I want you to figure it out. Those are my favorite clients. I mean, those, those are the ones. And
I
then,
would be your favorite client. That is not my gift. I need to spend my time doing something else and,
yes,
writing the copy for the website or whatever. But I am not that. So yeah, that's where I have to spend my money. And then I can do other things myself. But yeah,
right,
so
right.
there's all kinds of versions that you can do this and make it right for you. But I hope that you take advantage of what Lori is offering you if this is within your wheelhouse. And uh-oh, what's happening?
Oh, they're just going to
I
close us. Oh,
they're going to close
goodness.
this up. All right. So thank you so much, Lori.